before all this took its place, God already told Jeroboam, foretold him through the mouth of the prophet Ahijah, the prophet we see in our story. God will take the kingdom apart from the hand of Solomon, and he will give it to you, Jeroboam. God's going to make you, Jeroboam, to be a king of his people. So be faithful to God's commandment and walk before him like David did. Then God will be with you, and he will give you a sure house. You and your children throughout the generation, a sure house. But soon after Jeroboam became the king, he turned away from God's ways. Why? God made him to be king. Why? He was thinking that since the temple is in the southern kingdom, Jerusalem, now Jerusalem was the capital of the southern kingdom, Judah, and temple is there. So the people of Israel, my people, will go down to the kingdom of Judah to go to the temple in the Jerusalem to worship, to make sacrifice, to celebrate the yearly festivals. So since they keep going down to the another kingdom, Judah, what if these people's heart turn away from me and turn to the king of Judah? Then he was afraid that he may lose his people and eventually his throne. What if I lose my kingship? So Jeroboam decided to do this. He decided to do something that God has forbidden in his word. He made high places and altars in different places within his territory, kingdom, and say, hey, you don't have to go to Jerusalem to the temple. You don't have to go to the temple of God. Worship God here. And actually, he made all these images and the metal images. And quickly that turned into idolatry, or worshiping different gods and idols there. Why he became like this? Now, if you think about it, it all started out of fear of losing the throne. Church, are you with me? That God-given gift, the kingship, to serve God and to serve God's people, now that became too important to him, too precious to him, more than God himself, the giver of the throne. The gift became much more important than the giver of the gift. We fear something that is very important and precious to us, that matters a lot to us. If we value other people's approval, recognition, other people's opinion, what they may say about me, if we value that too much, then we fear what they may say about me. We fear that not getting enough approval and recognition of other people, from parents, from friends, for close people or co-workers. If we value comfortable lifestyle with financial flexibility, and that is too important to us, then we fear losing money. If the health and my well-being is too important and too valuable to me, then we are afraid of getting disease or some injuries. Getting a persecution for the sake of my faith would be unthinkable. I'll never. We fear, in a sense, what we worship. We fear what we worship. Whatever we idolized, money, power, position, sex, reputation, success, or even a marriage, whatever we idolize and that is too important, that becomes fearful to me. What if I lose it? What if I don't have it? What if I cannot get it? And just thinking about it is we are afraid. For Jeroboam, it was a kingship. I mean, it itself is not a bad thing. Once again, I'm telling you, it was God-given gift. But when that becomes too important, and when he idolized it, that ruined his life. I'll give you an example that people tend to idolize without noticing it. Our family and children. Even before and above God. And people try to please them more than God. And I see it, and I tell you this, many people in this area, in our generation, fall into this. The disciples of Jesus came and asked Jesus about a man who was born with blindness from the birth. Blind from the birth. Is he born blind because of his parents' sin or because of his sin? Now, what was the answer of your master? Your master said this: neither. That did not happen to him, not because of his own sin, not because of his parents' sin. But for what then? It was for the glory of God. Now let me tell you this, let me put it this way. A child born with physical complications, child born with physical problem or illness or some challenges, and people tend to think, is the child a sin or the parent's sin? Is that why that happened? No, even that birth with physical complication was meant for the glory of God. So when your child is sick or something bad happened to your children, please do not think, oh, it happened to them, it happened to my son, my daughter, because of me, because of what I did last week, because of what I did yesterday, it's because of my sin. No, God does not punish your child for your guilt. He doesn't. Not your child. For your guilt and for your sin, He punished His son, not your child. Not your beloved one. His beloved one was punished for your guilt on the cross. Remember David's story? And the Lord afflicted the baby and became sick. The Lord said the baby is going to die. David ceased to eat anything and pleaded to the Lord to save the baby's life. But the baby ended up dying. Normally, that's the moment when the baby is dead. That's the moment people wail and cry. They cease to eat and they become like a madman and they just grieve uncontrollably. Normally, that's what happened. But David, when he heard that the baby is dead, 2 Samuel chapter 12, it says, Then David arose from the earth, washed and anointed himself and changed his clothes, and he went into the house of the Lord and worshipped. He then went to his own house, and when he asked, they set food before him, and he ate. And this is his answer, verse 22. He said, While the child was still alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, Who knows whether the Lord will be gracious to me that the child may live? But now he is dead. Why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he will not return to me. Did you notice it there? He will not return to this world because it's the passing world. This world is not ultimate. We are all going somewhere. He believed at the death of the baby's existence does not come to an end. Oh, he's dead, he's gone, he doesn't exist anymore. That's not what he saw. He saw the baby is there, and I shall go to where my baby is. I will go there. Now we are asked now, where is this baby at the moment? Because that's the place where David believed that he will go to when he dies. For you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. You made known to me the path of life. In your presence there's a fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. And that's where I will go when I die. In other words, that's where my baby is right now. I will go there. From this side of the world perspective, the death of a child is a terrible thing. But from the eternal perspective, from that side of the world perspective, this is the goodness of God to that child. Because he took the baby into his blessed kingdom, the place of fullness of joy and pleasures forevermore. It was God's grace to and goodness to the child to transfer that baby quickly into his kingdom, that this baby did not have to go through and taste and experience the suffering and the pain and the bitterness and weariness and tiredness and the problem and the troubles of this life. From this side of you, this is a terrible thing. From that side of you, the child is now in the presence of God and praising God and giving thanks to God for His goodness to him. Thank you. But what about the rest of the family members then? The household, they all perished and died. Did they die because of the father's sin, Jeroboam's sin? They all suffer? No, that expression implies this. That only this child was pleasing to the Lord implies this, that everyone else in the family were not pleasing to God. And each of them perished, not because of Jeroboam's sin, but because of the influence of the Jeroboam's sin. Do you know what that means? In other words, let me put it this way. They all followed Jeroboam's way. Influenced by the Jeroboam, they all committed the same sin. They all did the same thing. They went after their father Jeroboam. Therefore, all of the rest of the family members were displeasing to the Lord and liable to God's judgment. Brothers and sisters, what is one of the the repeating theme, idea in the book of Kings? Do you know what it is? Let me show you. 1 Kings chapter 15. You will see this a lot when you read Kings. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord and walked in the way of his father, and in his sin, which he made Israel to sin. The book of Kings tells you about all the kings of Judah and all the kings of Israel and what they did. And the kings of Israel, terrible, 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 each one of them. And they did just like his father. They walked in the same path of his father. That's what they've been watching. And they follow the same sin. They commit the same sin. Adults and parents in this place, we are not only responsible to teach our children, actively teach our children about the Christian faith, Christian doctrine, and the ways of the Lord. Yes, we are, but we must understand this. The children and watch and learn from us. And so they easily become like us. Be careful. They watch you, the close people, and they follow you. That's why we must be careful. In a sense, hi, are you with me? I want you to get this. In a sense, I'm saying the sin is contagious. They watch, I'll do that too. They learn from you. Sin begetting sins.